Hi there, folks. Welcome to the Sandlercast. The Sandlercast is a podcast where my co-host Kioran and I
Hello.
watch all of the films of Adam Sandler. That's right, folks. I'm your host, Swanson, and we are watching every Adam Sandler movie ever made.
In order.
That he's in, anyway. Not like ones he produced.
It doesn't reduce the list by much because he's in a lot of movies.
He is. Sure is. And we're starting off with a real doozy.
This is a great start. A great introduction to Adam Sandler.
It's a great film. Keo, everybody has to start somewhere, and Adam Sandler, he started his career off the right way with probably one of the worst films I've ever seen.
This is definitely the worst I've ever seen. Or at least ever watched the entirety of, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I've seen some pretty bad films, but this one was up there, definitely. The first film we watched was Going Overboard, and it is
It's devastating.
It's bad.
It was a true slog. I could not believe how long it took for the movie to be over.
To call this movie bad isn't really... It does injustice to bad movies. This is the Hindenburg of comedy.
Yeah, some movies can be bad, but still be, at least amusing. But this movie is just, it's unbearable. It is, I can't even comprehend it.
Keo, I want you to give the people at home your opinion, your idea of what the synopsis of this movie would be.
It's about Adam Sandler being unfunny on a boat.
Yeah, more or less. That's the entirety of this 97-minute film. And yet somehow at 97 minutes, still feels a bit drawn out.
It took forever. It was, and not to mention, they decided to spend I don't know, how many entire minutes of screen time was Adam Sandler just talking to the camera and being as unfunny as possible. Yeah, there is a lot of fourth wall breaking in this movie, and it is all bad. It was not a clever use of breaking the fourth wall. It was just unbearable.
Yeah, it was not great, and I feel worse for having watched this.
Yeah, Adam Sandler would just turn to the camera and be as unfunny as he could be for as long as he could be, and just torture us. He would just look at us and be like, "Oh, you're still watching? How about you listen to me talk to you for another minute?"
Yeah, it's great. But let's rewind the clock back here and go break this piece of crap down into sizable chunks of feces.
You're putting a really unpleasant image in my head.
Good. This movie put an unpleasant image in my face and my eyelids.
Listen, this movie has hurt me enough. You don't need to put more bad images in my head.
Oh, can we talk about the poster for the movie? Have you seen the poster, Keo?
Yeah, I've seen the poster.
Where they just sort of Photoshop Adam Sandler's face onto a weird image of a guy on a life raft.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's great. And the tagline for this movie is, "In the world of comedy, it's sink or swim." Keo, would you say this movie sunk or swam?
I gotta think about this for a little while. I think it swam.
Really?
Over the waterfall.
And then promptly sank.
Yeah, and then, it didn't really sink. It just crashed into the rocks below, the really jagged ones.
Mm-hmm. This is painting a really nice image in my head.
Yeah, waterfalls are pretty.
Of Adam Sandler and the whole cast. No, I meant more of Adam Sandler and the whole cast just impaled on rocks.
That sounds really nice. What if the movie ended like that? There was, for some reason, a waterfall in the ocean.
Right.
And they all fell into it.
I would have changed my tune about this movie if that happened.
Yeah, I would have thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. That's a pretty good problem about the movie, is that there's no likable character at all.
Well, Adam Sandler was really likable in this movie.
If you want to call any of the people in this movie characters.
No, Adam Sandler was a real charming guy in this movie. The way he would try to make jokes and look at the camera and make me want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to happen a lot through our run of Adam Sandler's movies. And I mean, look, we don't want bad things to happen to Adam Sandler. I mean, if they did, we wouldn't have this podcast.
Yeah, so but we do want them to happen to his character that he's playing in the movie, for sure.
Well, yeah, we would definitely be all aboard his characters being dismembered, defaced, both.
I mean, wouldn't you just like to see just him fall overboard for real and just,
And die? You mean like Adam Sandler himself?
No, the character.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
Listen, I wish no harm upon Adam Sandler.
Yeah, the movie's called Going Overboard, but nobody goes overboard.
Well, actually, one guy does.
Technically, but I mean, it was not willingly.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Adam
And
Sandler should have just given up on comedy. Well, his character should have, and jumped off the boat, and then the movie was over.
yeah. Yeah, this movie is obviously Adam Sandler's first, and it was before he made it on the Saturday Night Live, and before he got famous, essentially. This was a struggling Adam Sandler making his first movie.
And, he didn't really showcase any kind of inherent talent in this movie.
Nope, that's definitely true.
Because
he was not charming, he was not funny, he was Adam Sandler, so he's got that going for him.
He didn't save the movie with his acting, that is for sure.
Yes. He does sing a couple times, but that's still not that great.
It's both unnecessary and unwanted.
Yeah, much like most of the things in this movie that don't directly involve what loosely you could determine is the plot.
And there's not much plot to this movie because I think the main conflict of the movie is resolved halfway through and then they add a new one in.
Yeah, what would you say is about how much of the time is actually spent on the plot of the movie?
I would say maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's like nice calling it that. That's being a little too fair. The movie ended in the 5-minute mark and then just kept going for 92 more minutes.
Well, I mean, there was a little bit of a conflict where he wanted to be the stand-up guy in the boat.
Yeah.
But he couldn't. But then later on he just kind of did.
Yeah, well, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. Let me continue with this little backstory here. So this movie should have probably stayed hidden for the rest of all time, and it probably would have. But Adam Sandler got famous.
And yeah, this is on his filmography, and he cannot remove it no matter how hard he tries.
Yeah, the actual this movie itself actually got released after he made his actual popular movies like Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, and what this movie is. At least when it got released on video and stuff, is a cash grab.
Yeah, they just, Adam Sandler's on it, so they can make a few quick bucks off of it. So there it is. We got to watch it.
Yeah, and it was made in 1989, so it was right on the precipice of him going to Saturday Night Live. Although I imagine Lorne Michaels, the producer, did not see this. Otherwise, he might not have hired him.
Yeah, I wouldn't have hired him. I would have said, get out of my sight.
Yeah. But the movie is directed by a complete unknown by the name of Valerie Breeman, who it doesn't even have. She has no credits other than this on her Wikipedia or IMDb page.
Well, I can see why. I would have given up too.
Also, her photo on IMDb is more focused on the lens of a camera than her actual face, which is cut off.
Well, yeah, no, that's just classy photography. Don't worry about that.
Oh, right, of course. Oh, I lied. She also did a movie called Bikini Squad.
Well, that's what she probably should have made in the first place, because that's what half this movie was, for no reason.
Yeah, there was
just women in swimsuits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this. Well, let's start off just right off the bat. There's nothing to get your movie started like a poorly animated opening sequence.
Well, yeah, everyone wants to see that.
Set to the worst island music I could ever hear for 5 minutes.
They kept playing it. They kept putting that in our ears. They wouldn't stop. It was incessant.
Yeah, they play it at least 3 separate times throughout the film, and each time it's worse.
It's like a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, can you imagine being woken up by this song?
I feel like I would just go into a deep, deep sleep, possibly forever.
No, I'd have the opposite response. I would wake up and never sleep again.
You'd be woken up so hard that you could not sleep ever again.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be surprised by that ever again. No, I want to be alert so I can be on guard for when that starts playing.
What if that just started playing in your everyday life?
I would, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to keep living.
You would just, give up all hope?
Yeah, I'd give up.
Yeah, so, they play this music a lot. And, it's nice because, right at the start of this movie, Adam Sandler shows up, talks to the camera to tell us how shoddy the production is.
Yeah, he says that this is not a low-budget film. This is a no-budget film.
Oh, yeah, that's some good comedy right there.
Yeah, it not only wasn't funny, but it also just, it takes you out of the movie immediately. I never want my fiction to tell me at the very beginning that, oh, yeah, this is fiction.
Oh yeah, but Keo, it's so cute and cheeky.
No, it's not, Swanson. Don't even sarcastically say that. Don't even.
Keo, this movie has what I would deem dangerous levels of talking to the camera.
I don't think you had to deem that. I'm pretty sure this doesn't fit like safety standards.
This is toxic. This is toxic levels of fourth wall breaking.
I'm pretty sure I got sick from watching this because of that.
Well, that's been corroborated. You said we were going to record last night, and then you said you were too sleepy because of the film.
Well, yeah, I was exhausted.
This movie is an ordeal,
both physically and mentally.
Yeah, this is just the first episode, Keo. We still have 57 more films to get through.
Listen,
I took a little off of that, but
I took a shower earlier and I lost a lot of hair.
How much is a lot?
Like a lot. Like it clogged up the drain
it's a lot of hair
in your shower.
Wait, why are you taking a shower in my shower?
Because yours is right there, and I was inside your house.
Right there.
Yeah, I was inside your house, and it was right there.
You live miles away from me.
I was inside your house.
Why?
Well, you know what I do.
No.
I go inside your house, I eat your food, I use your shower, drive your car, you know.
Well, you do that even when I'm awake.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah. I'm not a fan.
Well, anyway, so yeah, your shower was right there, and yeah, this movie stressed me so much that I'm losing hair over it, so.
Right. So yeah, Adam Sandler is, he's schmecky, smart, he's schmecky, Jewish name.
Yeah, I'm never gonna remember that name in my entire life, so we're just gonna call him Mr. Sandler.
Yes, Mr. Sandler is working as he's working on a cruise ship. I think he's a waiter, is that what it is?
I don't know what it is, and I don't care. He's just a boat boy.
Yeah, he's a boat boy, and he really desperately wishes to be a comedian, but he's not funny.
He can't think of any jokes, and he knows he's not funny.
Which is a great sign that you should become a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, and he has his best friend character,
who also tells him he's not funny constantly.
And he keeps telling him jokes, which we also have to sit through, and they're not funny. Like I don't get it. Do they think that like, if they told a joke that was unfunny enough that it would wrap around and become funny?
No, KOC, this movie was written by failed comedians, and it shows.
No, I'm confused though. So if I'm pretty sure the people who wrote the movie knew that those jokes weren't funny, right?
I mean, do we really want to take that at face value with everything else that happens in this movie?
I don't know.
It's hard to distinguish the line about what's supposed to be funny and what's supposed to not be funny in this movie.
Well, I'm pretty sure though that the jokes that they tell in the movie are not supposed to be funny. But the movie's supposed to be funny though. So
are we supposed to? So when Dickie Diamond shows up, who's the on-stage comedian for the cruise, because as we all know, cruises always have comedians on them.
Well, yeah.
There's always a funny man on the cruise.
And just only one entertainer, and it's always a comedian.
Right. There's only one entertainer at all times, and he's just a comedian.
And, you know...
the most sought-after of entertainers.
Yeah. The most sensual, sexually attractive of all entertainers, as we see in this movie.
Yeah, because the appearance of Dickie Diamond is him, just a bunch of ladies around him like shirtless, just telling like the most obvious and sexual jokes possible.
And they're just drooling over him.
Right, because, you know, ladies, not only do they love comedians, they love foul-mouthed comedians.
Oh, yeah, that's extremely attractive.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like telling very overt sexual references to a woman.
They're all into it, 100%.
Yeah, and...
so this character's very real, especially his laugh.
Do you want to imitate that for us, Keo?
I'm not sure I can. Can you?
I definitely can't, so you should. Yeah, he sounds like he's the real-life version of Roger from Doug.
Yeah, and it's awful.
It's
supposed to be awful, but it's unbearable even for people who know it's supposed to be awful.
Especially when there's at least two scenes where his laugh is heard numerous times, like on repeat.
Yeah, although the one part of this movie that I actually thought was funny was where he was laughing and it was echoing in Adam Sandler's face as the camera dramatically zoomed in on him. I thought that was actually kind of funny. That was the one moment.
Was that when he was in the straitjacket?
No, that was at the very beginning of the movie where he was with the ladies.
Oh, okay.
And just out of nowhere that happens for no reason.
Okay, I guess I could see why that would be funny then, sort of. We'll get to the one moment that this movie made me laugh later. And I'm not proud to say it made me laugh.
Yeah, It made me laugh after you pointed it out, but not before.
So yeah, in Adam Sandler, the whole movie is basically based around, is Adam Sandler funny?
And the movie continues to reaffirm the entire time that no, he's not.
Yeah, he's not a funny guy. And I mean, watching this is hard to argue with that logic.
It's inarguable. He's not funny. There's just no way he's funny.
Yeah. And so he has a dream sequence, which there's frequent of these throughout, or these are frequent throughout the movie, where his first one is he's watching a set that Dickie Diamond's doing, and Dickie is just sort of bullying a random woman in the crowd because that's what comedians do, of course. You ever been to a comedy show, Keo, and a comedian just bullies you?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time, and it's really funny.
Yeah, everybody laughs, and you do too. But then
Adam Sandler shows up with a gun and very silently shoots him.
He shoots him with a single bullet from a semi-automatic gun.
Yep.
He's very skilled.
And then takes the stage and then tells equally unfunny jokes, which make the crowd laugh.
Yeah, of course, this is all a dream, so I guess it could just be Adam Sandler's character not knowing how guns work, but that's giving this movie credit, and that's a shame.
This movie does not have a good credit score.
What would you say the credit score of this movie is? Do you think they could buy a house?
Oh, no.
Do you think they could live in a house?
No.
Because that's the thing a lot of people don't know, is if your credit score is bad enough, you can't live in a building.
Yeah, you can't live after a certain point.
Yeah, they do kill you if your credit score is below a certain level.
Yeah, like, it's pretty brutal, and we should probably end this practice, so sign our petition on petition.com.
Yeah, not petition.org, don't be confused by those two.
Yeah, .org is garbage, .com is better.
Yes. That's true for everything, really.
Yeah, if you got a domain and it's .net or .org or .gov, it's trash.
Wow, .gov, please.
Yeah, like, these government suits with their .gov domains, like, trash, just awful.
Yep, more like .garbage.
You know, that they should make that domain and then just put all the terrible not .com sites onto it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if
it should be just .com and .garbage.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if there's a bunch that overlap if you do that. I don't care. They're all garbage anyway.
Yeah.
Just have multiple sites point to the same domain. Don't ask me how it'll work. Just do it.
That's a great advice. That seems like sort of the advice that this movie was built on.
Yeah, just put a bunch of things on top of each other and hopefully it'll be funny.
Yeah, like the numerous times that the movie cuts into random beauty pageant contestants giving their thoughts on things.
Which is either completely bland or just kind of gross.
Why are they spending time doing testimonials from beauty pageant contestants in a comedy film?
Because that's really funny to see them say weird stuff, Swanson.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's really funny to hear them blankly stare at the camera and read lines that are definitely just being, like, shown from behind the camera to them.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious. You know how hard I laughed at that?
It's great. By the way, these were all real, other than Miss Australia, these were all real beauty pageant contestants.
Yeah, so
I guess this movie was filmed on a boat where a bunch of beauty pageant contestants were going to a beauty pageant, and they just they filmed it during the entire cruise, pretty much.
I guess they did. I wonder why they actually got them to do that. Do you think it was because...
I wonder why they decided to do that.
Well, I'm thinking they got them to do something, at least, and they decided that it would be that, like...
Look, this movie had a budget of $200,000. How about you take it out? How about you don't do the boat theme and you just do literally any other film?
Wait, so they lied? This was actually not a no-budget film that's actually had...
Well, in Hollywood, $200,000 is no budget.
No, that's low budget. And this isn't like today. This was like, what, the late 80s?
Yeah, so that is technically a decent budget.
Yeah, so they lied. They're not only a terrible movie, but they're also a lie movie.
Yeah, that's real catchy.
They're a lie movie. These people are a movie.
Yep, it's great. And then we get to see this rock star guy whose name I think is Kroger or Kroger, like the store.
Yeah, he's Kroger.
Yeah, he going. Hey, I'm going on down there to the Kroger.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, and his manager, I think Mort is the guy's name. Who cares? And these guys, as Adam Sandler helpfully points out, don't have anything to do with the movie, but we're gonna follow them along anyway.
Yeah, and they're like really stupid or something, or at least the Kroger is?
Kroger is a rock star. And he has a famous #1 hit called "Slap the Cat," and it's a real rockin' song. And if you were worried that you weren't going to get to hear it later, don't worry, you do.
For a long time.
It goes on forever.
Literally, it's still playing right now.
Yeah, we turned off the movie, but yet this song is still playing somehow.
Yeah, and we can't stop it, and we need help.
Yeah, we desperately need you to send help.
We tried calling the police, but they said no.
They said it's out of their jurisdiction now.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing that could be done.
Yes, and his band's name, of course, is Yellow Teeth.
That's catchy.
Mm-hmm. Nothing almost as catchy as "Slap the Cat."
Look, this movie is so clever and has made up so many clever things that I am delirious.
Yeah, you're getting a little lightheaded just talking about the movie, huh?
I feel very dizzy. I don't feel good.
Yeah. So Adam Sandler, Mr. Sandler.
Yeah, the character in the movie's name is Mr. Sandler, as we've established. Not Adam Sandler. That's the actor's name.
And certainly not Shebby Moibowitz.
Glam Blobblesnockerwicks.
I think it was that last one, actually.
Yeah.
He is trying to get advice from his buddy, and they're at the bar. And by the way, the bartender here looks like he needs to ID himself every time he goes into work.
Yeah, looks like he's like 12 or something.
And for some reason, Mr. Sandler asks his friend, "Who do you think looks better, me or you?" Which is a question that why would you even ask somebody?
Swanson, who do you think looks better, me or you?
Me.
Why
would I think you look better than me?
Looks like we have a difference of opinion.
Oh, we're gonna have to get a third person on here to say who looks better than both of us.
Yeah.
Alright, hold on, let me get somebody real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that there Swanson guy.
Swanson, that's you doing a voice.
What do you mean? That was definitely another man. He just left.
No. That was you.
You want me to bring him back in here?
I saw you do it.
Okay, hold on. What? Huh? Well, I was just about to leave. You just asked for my opinion. I'm going to say it again. I like this Swanson guy.
So, Swanson, I can see you didn't bring a guy in. You're right there doing the voice. I'm looking right at you.
Keo, you'll just do anything to get attention.
Look, all you people out there watching this podcast on your television screen.
Yes, of course. This is also streamed.
You can see this. You can see I'm not crazy.
Mm-hmm. You can see us as people.
Swanson's waving his arms around.
Frantically, signaling for help.
Yeah, because I'm pointing a gun at him.
Well, yeah, that's true. But also, I'm less afraid of the gun and more afraid of the potential effects of this movie.
Well, the movie's already going to kill us.
You think? Just like over time?
Yeah, like, it's already stressed us out. And
like you think at some point we'll go to the doctor's office and he'll be like, "Oh, man, I don't know what could have caused this. Did you by chance watch Going Overboard?"
Yeah, or some other movie that's equally as bad. He's going to give us a list of movies to pick from. Probably a lot of them are Adam Sandler movies. And we're going to be like, there's our movie. It's right there on the list. And it's like, well, nothing I can do.
We should clarify it, and I probably should have clarified this before we were 27 minutes into the recording. But I don't think not every Adam Sandler movie in his filmography is bad. There are some good ones that we can look forward to, most of them in the early going.
But there's plenty that are bad.
There is a plethora of terrible Adam Sandler films. And that's mainly why we did this podcast. We didn't do it because we think Adam Sandler is very funny. So if you happen to be a fan of Adam Sandler, by now I think you would have gotten the idea.
And if you haven't, well, you're a typical Adam Sandler fan.
Yeah, you're a big old dumb Sandler fan. Please keep listening.
Yeah, please don't stop listening, even though you're stupid.
Yep.
And we don't like you.
Well, we do if you keep listening.
Oh yeah, if you keep listening, if you listen to anything we say ever, we like you.
Yeah. Anyway, his friend immediately gets noticed by a woman because in this movie, all of the ladies walk up to you, and he just sort of immediately hits on her and walks away. And then another lady shows up, and Adam Sandler says, "Hey," and she's variously offended because he's ugly, I guess.
Oh, she's just a horrible person. I guess they show later on, and it's
they don't need to show later on. She's a horrible person.
Well, I mean, they show why later on, rather.
Do they? Do they show why?
Yeah, they show why.
Why? Because she's dating Dickie Diamond?
Exactly. She literally just blames him.
Oh, that is true. That is what she does at the end. I forgot about that part. We'll get to that because that's also problematic, but...
I like your use of words.
Thanks, pal. I make good choices with my speech.
Yeah, it is very problematic. It's not very kind to women, I don't think.
Yeah, we'll get to that one. There's a lot to unpack with that speech.
It was a very amazing speech, and I was
and not at all. It didn't come out of nowhere at all. That's for sure.
It was very impressive.
So yeah, this she's very offended and she leaves immediately, and then Dickie Diamond comes up and Sandler.
The most painful, awful scene in the entire movie.
This scene is so long, and it could have ended 5 minutes earlier. This scene lasts for so long. It's not funny, and it's painfully unfunny. This is like watching Tim and Eric if they didn't understand how comedy actually worked.
It's the dialogue is so stilted too. It doesn't make any sense.
So basically, Adam Sandler asked to be Dickie Diamond's opening act,
and he dismisses him totally, and
Sandler just keeps bringing it up,
saying the same thing repeatedly.
And Dickie also keeps saying the same thing repeatedly.
And he says, "I don't care," which could just mean that he's okay with it.
But then he just keeps saying it.
Yeah, he just keeps saying it over and over again, and then
the lady shows back up, reveals that she's dating Dickie Diamond, and gets Dickie to punch Sandler in the face because he hit on her. And then the scene mercifully ends.
Would you really call it mercy if they did it for that long?
No, but it could have been longer. Imagine if the rest of the movie was that one scene.
That's like if I took this knife right here, stabbed you with it.
Okay.
Twisted it 3 times.
Okay, well, you're getting really close to me, so don't actually stab me with it.
Okay, well, did you hear what I said?
I got confused. Keep speaking.
Okay, if I twisted it 3 times and then pulled it out, would that be considered mercy for pulling it out?
I mean, no, probably. You probably should have just left it in at that point.
So
they should have just kept the scene going.
Yeah, just had Adam Sandler laying on the ground and then revealed that he's dead, and then...
Then the movie's all about Dickie Diamond. Would you like the movie more if it was about Dickie Diamond?
He was more likable than Sandler.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, he was slightly more funny than Sandler.
He never looked at the camera and talked to me.
That's true, but if he was the main character, do you think he would have looked at the camera and talked to you?
No, he doesn't have time for that crap. He's Dickie Diamond.
That's true. You're right about that. Dickie Diamond is the only thing that resembles an actual character in this movie.
Yeah.
Which might be why we're being so kind to him.
He was awful, though. He was not funny, and he was just unbearable. He wasn't like one of those... He was basically the villain of the movie. Oh, for part of it.
Yeah, sort of the villain. No, at the end, he's still the villain, so...
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, what made him kind of awful was that he also told jokes, but the jokes were just unpleasant. And they were supposed to be. We had to sit through them anyway, so it just doesn't help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then we get another dream sequence where Adam Sandler's in a straitjacket with an apple in his mouth for some reason.
It's symbolic.
Because he's big.
There's a symbol there.
Well, what's the symbol?
It's the symbol of being a symbol.
Oh, that's a great symbol.
Whenever you put something in a dream, it's symbolic. So if you put him in a straitjacket, that means he's crazy.
Right.
And I don't know what that's to do with this movie, but it's symbolism.
Anyway, Dickie Diamond comes in and tells a bunch of dumb jokes, and then
Adam Sandler's horrified by it.
Well, Adam Sandler's actually horrified by the segment that they had to animate, presumably because they couldn't actually do prosthetic work to have him rip his face off. Which, yes. Dickie Diamond doesn't even rip off Adam Sandler's face. He rips off his own face for some reason.
It's just because he's so horrified by Dickie Diamond's laughter.
Yeah. And, Then we get to another dream sequence where Adam Sandler almost, we almost see an Adam Sandler sex scene, and boy, was I ready to gouge my eyes out.
I thought it was pretty hot.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Come on, Adam Sandler with some miscellaneous woman on the beach. Come on, who's not into that?
You know what was the hottest part? When his mother showed up.
Oh yeah, that's always the best part.
Yeah.
When the mom shows up and starts scolding the guy.
Yeah, that's always the best.
It turns out it was actually just friend interrupting him by waking him up.
Yep, and his friend looks a lot like his mom. That's the joke!
Haha, that's really funny.
Oh, yes.
It's not. It was dreadful.
There's another dream sequence not long after this where he's boxing Dickie Diamond, and there's a short person as the ref, because that's funny.
Yeah, midgets are inherently hilarious.
Kehoe, short people, please.
Dwarves are hilarious.
Okay, yeah. And then we get more testimonials about random things from beauty queen pageants. And Miss Australia, who was the dater of Dickie Diamond.
Tiny boys.
What?
Tiny boys are...
I'm on a completely different subject right now.
Okay, what were you talking about?
So anyway, Miss Australia, for some reason, well, we find out later she actually does state why she said these things, but she just starts talking about General Noriega, the infamous crime lord and ruler of Mexico, I guess. I mean, I don't know much about Mexican history, so we'll take them for their word.
I don't know what country it is, and did they even make it clear what country he was from?
I think it's Mexico. I'm gonna sound really racist if it isn't.
It was. I thought it was just some miscellaneous South American country that we never know exactly what it is.
Well, I mean, Noriega's a real person.
Okay, well, whatever the case is.
Oh, it's Panama, so close to Mexico.
Yes, so he's watching the movie.
Yeah, it's not even like it's not even like he's watching tapes of these ladies giving their testimonials. He's watching the actual film.
Yeah, he's watching Going Overboard because the movie has those cut-ins of the women.
Mm-hmm. And even if you thought he was just watching the tapes, as Kehoe did at first, later in the movie it cuts to more scenes with him because, of course, why not? We need more scenes of General Noriega, which
were just unpleasant. Like throughout the scene, they not only have
this is another scene that goes on way too long, which there's a lot of in this movie, by the way.
Yeah, they have his ugly mug just talking to himself, and then like for some reason there's flies buzzing.
Well, because it's in Panama, and Panama is very hot, you see, and flies love humid atmospheres.
Yeah, but it just makes it really uncomfortable and unpleasant to watch.
Also, considering that, just like in the previous scene that we mentioned that needed to end quicker than it did, he constantly says the same words over and over again because this lady says he smells like a pizza.
Pizzas are pretty tasty.
Yeah, I don't know why smelling like a pizza is pretty bad.
I smell like a pizza.
Yeah, it's great. That's why you're the co-host of this podcast.
Really?
Solely because of your smell.
Wow.
It reminds me of my days eating pizza.
Do you know what my secret is?
You rub pizza on yourself?
Well, pizza sauce.
Oh, and then you melt cheese on yourself?
No, I use cheese shampoo.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm not going to question it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, you should have noticed. It's all over your shower.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, that's how I smell so good.
You know, cheese goes bad pretty fast.
Well, that's why I bathe regularly.
Anyway, Noriega apparently only has 2 assassins at his call because he orders for people to come in and just 2 bozos come in. These ass clowns.
The worst.
These are the worst people.
These are the worst things I've ever seen in a movie. Like,
so
can you say you've seen any characters worse than these 2 in a movie before?
You know, I think I'm gonna be able to say that I can't.
Okay, good, because these guys are the worst. They speak in vague accents that constantly change and are impossible to listen to. They say nothing funny and they just act as obnoxious as possible the entire time they're on screen.
These guys are going for like a Spanish accent, but they're just sounding vaguely foreign.
So sometimes they sound Spanish, sometimes they sound Middle Eastern.
Yeah, and okay, so we gotta unpack this real quick. So General Noriega is watching the film Going Overboard.
Mm-hmm.
He sees Miss Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Call him a pizza.
Yeah, the most harshest of insults in the Going Overboard universe.
Right. Keep in mind, this is the man who's the dictator of a country and a drug trafficker.
Yeah.
He calls in two assassins.
2 pathetic, horrible, awful human beings, yes.
And then tells them to kill the woman in the film.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling these assassins, I need you to get on a boat, travel inside the film, and kill this woman.
Right, and they do it.
General Noriega does not have the concept for what film is. He's watching something happening live.
He clearly does because they're able to do it.
Yeah.
They just go in.
They travel through the vortex. This doesn't actually happen in the film, by the way.
Yeah.
I think I should state they just show up in the film.
Yeah, they just go.
There's no explanation for why General Noriega can watch a film and then tell them to kill somebody in the film during the film.
Yeah, it's unexplained, and is it supposed to be funny? Do you think?
Yes, I do think it was supposed to be funny, and boy, did they fail.
Yeah, it's just confusing and stupid instead.
So, meanwhile, Dickie Diamond is sick. He's not feeling well. I guess he has boat sickness.
You think he'd be used to it?
Yeah, with all of his plethora of stand-up career, his stand-up career on the boats. That's what he does, right? He just goes to boat to boat, cruise to cruise, doing stand-up.
He's a boat joke boy.
He's Boat Jokeman.
Yeah, and
that should have been his name.
That would have been really good.
Yeah, Boat Jokeman.
So yeah, he wants to throw up, but for some reason he can't over the water. But he loses his hat.
Yeah, I've heard of losing your lunch, but losing your hat?
Yeah, his signature hat, he lost it.
Yeah, and he sort of just walks away, and immediately, is it his girlfriend or is it somebody else?
It's his girlfriend.
This cruise, by the way, is made up of 80% women.
Yeah.
There's like 3 men on the cruise, including Adam Sandler.
And Adam Sandler can't score.
Yeah. Yeah, in the end, he has to settle for like a C chick.
Yeah, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, though.
Yeah.
So Dickie Diamond goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, and he somehow manages to lock himself inside of it. I don't know how you lock yourself inside a bathroom.
Yeah. Meanwhile, his girlfriend sees his hat in the water and quickly concludes that he's dead.
Yeah. And it's not long before literally everybody is accepting of his death. They don't look for his body. They don't say...
search the entire boat.
Yeah.
They just have his funeral.
They're just like, no, he's dead. Nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, and this
even though it is clearly just a hat floating in water.
Yeah, and this isn't
because hey, guess what happens to bodies after a while? They start to float.
Yeah. So yeah, this is not funny at all. It just quickly points out that this movie was not thought through.
Yeah, it's great. And he's inside the bathroom, and there are painfully long sequences, numerous.
He's just talking to himself, and it's awful.
There are no actual jokes being told, and it's just him doing dumb one-man show material.
Yeah, just kind of lamenting himself being locked in the bathroom.
This entire movie is sort of like an improv comedy troupe got together after a night of drinking, made a movie, and then didn't do any editing to the script.
Yeah, and then just produced it, and there it is, right in front of us, torturing us.
Yep, yeah, here it is. Yeah, so they just all assume he's dead, and Adam Sandler finally gets his big chance to become the stand-up comedian that this cruise desperately needs.
Yes, and it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, before that, let's not forget that King Neptune cosplay shows up.
Yeah, it's a pretty good cosplay. Like,
sure, they just sort of threw a beard on a very young person and gave them just an outfit that they bought from a used dress store.
Threw a green tarp over him. There he is, Neptune.
Yeah.
Gave him some kind of weird staff. Not even a trident, but like a weird staff.
Yeah, it like curves at an angle.
Yeah.
And like it has like jewelry on it.
Yeah, that's Neptune for you.
Yeah, all about that jewelry. Anyway, King Neptune shows up to give Sandler advice on comedy.
Which he promptly ignores.
Yeah, he just doesn't take the advice of King Neptune.
For no reason.
Yeah. I will say, well, King Neptune, first off, is played by Billy Zane, who is a pseudo-popular guy in films.
Never heard of him.
He's well-known.
Never heard of him.
We'll call him well-known.
Never heard of him.
Well, he was in Back to the Future.
Not a real person.
Okay. Anyway.
As far as I'm concerned, that was a real Neptune on that boat, because it sounds like he just made up that name. Never heard of him.
Because he looked so authentic?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Adam Sandler promptly ignores all of his advice and goes to do some terrible stand-up. And the movie considers it stand-up, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everybody hates him.
Yeah, they call him a trash boy.
Yeah, so he tries to do some comedy where he's making fun of people in the crowd. And he picks the wrong guy because he's making fun of Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
And that's right, Billy Bob Thornton's in this movie, too. I think this might be one of his first movies as well.
It had to have been. This is like, there's no way somebody with a career would just throw away all the momentum by going on this movie.
It's true. This actually isn't his first movie, but it's it's like his third.
It's before any of his notable ones.
And it's his first. It's his first movie that has a Wikipedia page, so it's got that going for it.
Which is only there because Adam Sandler starred in it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, nobody's buying this movie because of Billy Bob. Sorry, but
Yeah, it's all about the Sandler, which is why we're doing the Sandlercast.
Yeah. Do you think we should do the Billy Bob cast when we're done with this one?
No, we gotta do the Jack Black cast.
Oh, boy. I don't like the sound of that one.
Do you think we'll have the life energy left after this to do anything else at all?
I don't think we're going to finish this.
Yeah, do you think we're gonna die?
Well, I mean, I know you are.
Oh yeah, there is a prophecy.
We've been foretold by a future version of our friend Stairmaster that you will die during the recording of this podcast. Not this podcast, but not this episode anyway.
Yep,
I hope not this episode.
I'm a doomed boy, and
You sure are.
that's okay because I don't have to watch any more Sandler.
Well, you still do, but
Well, I mean, after I die, I'm not gonna have to.
oh yeah.
So this is fine. This is okay.
What if all they show in the afterlife is Adam Sandler movies?
I'd be upset.
What if they consider that like good comedy?
I would
Yeah?
I would want to go to the afterlife at that point.
That's not a thing, Keo. Come on, be serious.
Why can't it be a thing?
Anyway,
Wait, no. Why can't it be a thing?
what do you mean? Why can't it be a thing? That's not a real thing.
Why can't
the afterlife? You don't die in the afterlife. You're already dead.
Well, you can after dead.
What?
You can re-die.
So you just become mortal again?
No, you become double dead.
Yeah, that sounds dumb. That sounds like something Adam Sandler would have said. You're becoming Adam Sandler.
That doesn't sound too bad. I don't have a lot of money.
Yeah, but you'd also have these movies, and also us making fun of you.
As Adam Sandler, I don't care.
It's true. I bet you Adam Sandler is not uncaring about this.
Yeah, he probably doesn't know it exists.
Yet.
He's going to one day, and he's going to be mad.
He's going to be Adam Madler.
That was worse than any of the jokes in this movie. Thank you.
I don't know about that.
Okay, fine. To be fair, it was better.
I'm fairly insulted that one of my bad jokes would be considered worse than the bad jokes in this movie.
Okay, to be fair, your joke was better. I'm sorry.
All right, so yeah, Sandler's doing bad at stand-up, and they decide to get Kroger up on stage to sing his classic tune, "Slap the Cat."
Oh boy, that didn't take forever.
Yep, it sure didn't, and it sure was an incomprehensible mush of music. Yeah, and it's 80s music too, so you know it's great.
Oh, top quality.
Yeah. They already ruined film, so they decided they might as well ruin music as well.
Yep, so it's just ruination.
Yeah, so this goes on for a long time, complete with numerous shots of Adam Sandler looking dejected.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta have that.
Right.
That's the only way to make the movie bearable, is to at least show that Adam Sandler wasn't happy.
Mm-hmm. Do you think those were just actual shots of like him hanging, waiting to film like his scenes?
Yeah, and
he's reportedly not like well, during production it was said that he was very happy with the film, and that because it was his first leading role.
I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that he was very upset during it.
Well, he's very embarrassed by this, because if you look on his website, this is not listed on his filmography.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want it on mine.
Well, yeah, I don't blame him. What we're essentially, this first episode is essentially us watching a secret Sandler film.
Yeah, he wanted to keep it top secret, but those cash boys wanted to cash in on it, so...
Yeah.
Now we're watching it, and we're having a great time.
Debatable.
A horrible time.
Okay.
The worst time.
So then, we get numerous cuts in between what's going on the great happenings on the boat to our two favorite characters, the vaguely foreign assassins.
Don't call them my favorite. That makes me upset.
They're your least favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're bad. And their scenes are even worse. There's a scene where they're fighting over some salami.
Don't remind me, please.
There's a scene where they get lost, and then they don't get lost.
It goes on for so long. I could not believe how long they kept the camera on these guys.
They just really thought they were funny, and they were really wrong.
They couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah. So Adam Sandler needs some advice. So he seeks out the advice of his best bud, who's been giving him his advice the whole film. So I don't know why he suddenly seeks out his advice at this very stage.
Yeah, he's been talking to him the whole film, telling him that he's not funny, and then he keeps trying to be funny.
Yeah, and then we get this speech, which feels like it was written by somebody who was really depressed about their life in comedy. Because his best bud is just like, being a comic is so dumb and stupid. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't understand why they put that into the movie. Like, they just decided to make his friend just lash out at him for no reason.
Apparently. I guess, yeah, I'm not even gonna attempt to figure out what they were trying to do. But, yeah.
It was just kind of cruel.
Yeah, it was sort of just really weird. I guess they successfully succeeded in one aspect. For a very brief moment, I felt bad for Adam Sandler's character.
I didn't.
And then he turned to the camera and said, "Hey, let's look at some chicks in bikinis."
Your sympathy faded immediately.
Yeah, immediately it was gone as the film suddenly turned into Baywatch.
Yeah, and that just kind of sums up the film. Just suddenly this, just.
Yeah, and we get tons of shots of women in bikinis set to a cover of, it's a song of some sort that Sandler does himself. He's doing a cover of the song and he's singing it.
Yeah, well, of course we gotta have that.
Because they can't afford the rights to the actual song, of course. So they need him to sing the lyrics to You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, sorry.
And it was bad.
Yes. Well, I mean, singing is technically what made Adam Sandler famous, but...
I mean, it was just there for no reason and took up a bunch of time, and I just wanted my life to be over.
Yeah, and, yeah, Keo, you've never been this depressed seeing women in bikinis before.
Yeah, usually I'm super into it. Usually I really want to see that, but throughout this movie, no.
Until Sandler gets a hold of it.
Yeah, once Sandler gets his hands on it, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah. So Sandler, he gets one more shot at making the big time, at telling the jokes.
He's got his latch into becoming a joke boy.
Yep, and he's still bad at it. So he seeks the advice of Milton Berle. Not an actor playing Milton Berle, not one of the numerous dumb actors in this movie playing Milton Berle. Actually, Milton Berle shows up in this movie.
Yep.
In this movie, this film,
if
you want to call it that.
I see you're not even wanting to call it a movie.
This, yeah.
This thing.
This abomination on all that we consider film. I feel bad for the corpse of Milton Berle just to have to watch this.
Well, at least he didn't do like a bad job in the movies. Like, it didn't somehow portray him horribly.
It's true. He shows up in the movie, and for those who aren't aware of who Milton Berle is, very legendary comedian and TV personality from long ago. And he essentially gives Adam Sandler advice.
Very sage advice about, knowing his audience.
Right. Just like this movie should have done.
Yeah, well, this movie knew its audience. It was people who would see the movie and see like, hey, this movie's got bikinis. Let's check it out.
Yep. That's exactly what they were thinking.
And I'm pretty sure anyone who watched it was watching it for that, when it first came out.
So, Milton Berle does do pretty well because he tells almost what seems to be actual jokes in this movie. I was actually shocked for a moment because there were jokes in this film.
Yeah, the only actual ones.
Yeah, the rest are just sort of the rest of this movie isn't really jokes at this point, Keo.
Yeah, it's just like deliberate. I don't even want to say deliberately, but just like knowingly bad jokes.
Yeah, it's not great.
Like, I imagine that these are jokes that these people actually wrote, found out weren't funny, and then put into the movie.
Yeah, I'd be willing to believe that, actually.
It seems like a pretty good theory to me.
But yeah, and so he comes in and he does these real jokes, and it's sort of just great. It's for a very brief amount of time, of course, because he leaves immediately afterwards. He's like, I gotta get out of here before I realize how bad the movie is.
Would you say that was the best scene in the movie?
Probably.
Yeah, I would say it was. It was really out of place, even. Like, I don't know. The main character of the movie getting sage advice from an elderly figure who's actually good at comedy it was very confusing.
Yeah, especially since it's never really his issue of being not funny is never actually sort of resolved.
Yeah, like he doesn't train to become actually funny. He just gets.
He just gets the idea. Milton Berle actually gives him jokes, so I think that's the thing. He doesn't make up jokes, he just gets jokes from Milton Berle. He's stealing jokes from people, which is a no-no in comedy.
Well, it works out for him. You know, the boat world of comedy is different than the regular one, you know?
Right. You know, it's really helpful during this scene, too, that Sandler only looks at the camera at the very end. And that's when you know the movie's back on. Adam, he does the speaking to the camera joke so much in this movie that I think at one point it ceases becoming a joke and it just becomes some avant-garde performance in how to ruin one.
Well said.
It's not great.
They managed to make something that's like difficult to pull off and, you know, be entertaining just absolutely unbearable.
Yeah, it makes me feel pains in both my eyes, my face, most of my body, I think.
It makes me feel pain in my soul.
Yeah, deep down into the core.
Yep.
The core of your soul.
Did you cry watching this movie?
No.
I did.
Oh, well, you're a big baby.
Very harsh, Swan. That's very harsh.
You need your diaper changed, you big baby?
I cried for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's bad.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want this movie to make me feel anything.
Well, it made me feel very negative emotions.
Yeah, like pain and suffering.
Look, I just looked at this movie and saw that the star of this movie became highly successful, and I just started crying.
Yeah, well, lots of people have bad first films. It's just that Adam Sandler happens to also still currently make bad films.
Well, I mean, he not only made a bad film, but he just clearly had no talent.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that Adam Sandler doesn't have talent, because obviously he has some form of talent somewhere in order to still be popular to this day. But he certainly at this stage, he did not have any, because he's not acting well, he's not setting up jokes properly.
Yeah, there's no redeeming qualities of his performance at all, really.
Because if he was doing a half decent job, all of the scenes of him talking to the camera wouldn't be so unbearable.
Yeah, I guess you can give him credit for actually being able to speak and not just mumble, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's really the only saving grace of his performance, is that he can manage to actually articulate what he's saying, and not just sort of just be like, well, I don't know, bad at jokes.
Yeah, but that's it. That's the only credit you can give him.
So, the terrorist guys finally make it to the boat, and they get on board, and they're shooting all over the place, and everybody's freaking out. But Adam Sandler's finally telling good jokes, so he's not ready to give up yet.
Yeah, and then they're running around for, like, felt like 20 minutes.
Hold on, I need to mention something real quick here. We cut briefly to Dickie Diamond in the bathroom because we need to know the status of his bathroom escapades.
We don't. But go on.
And the boat is rocking back and forth from the gunfire of two assassins.
They've got some really powerful guns.
Yeah, they must be hiding grenade launchers in their semi-automatics.
Yeah, well, you know, that's how they do it.
But anyway, as you were saying, yeah, they run around forever.
Yeah, like it felt like it was at least 20 minutes. Of just
the last 20 minutes of this film is them running around from like all throughout the boat. What essentially this was just like, look, we're paying to film on this cruise. We're filming the whole damn boat.
Yeah, and
they do.
There was nothing entertaining about it, nothing funny about it, just nothing. It was nothing.
Okay, so here's one scene of them running around. They run around, they see the assassins, they run some more. Place that in a different part of the boat, and that's what happens for about 20 minutes.
And then...
and for this entire time, the people, the assassins see them numerous times, but never fire their guns at them.
Or even, like, do, you know, any considerable amount of effort actually going after them, just kind of running in their general direction.
There's one moment where they run into each other, and Sandler and his pals go the other way, and then they, instead of following them, go in opposite direction.
Yeah, it did not make any sense, and it was just unbearable.
Yeah. You know what? We missed. We did miss the speech, though. This happens. That happens before they run away, because these assassins, of course, are looking for Miss Australia, and Sandler and his buddy find Miss Australia, and Sandler is not a fan of Miss Australia, and neither should anybody else in the world be, because she is not a nice person. But hey, she helpfully points out that you know, she was only mean because of Dickie Diamond.
Yeah, she just blames it all on him.
Yep.
Says that basically he told her, just told her to be mean.
Right.
And just do whatever he said, and then she just did it.
Yeah, it paints a very beautiful portrait, of relationships and how the female part of them.
Yeah, but yeah, women out there, if there's a guy telling you to do stuff, you're gonna do it.
Oh yeah, of course, no questions asked.
And it's gonna be his fault that you did it.
Yeah.
And now that he's dead, during the same day, mind you, she's had this epiphany that it was all his fault, and now she's gonna be good.
Yeah, it should be noted that this is the same day. I think almost everything happens in the same day. Do we count Adam Sandler going to bed as a separate day?
Maybe. It's not clear.
Yeah, I think so, because the bar scene's at night, so.
Yeah. Well, either way, I think he quote unquote died within the past, hour even.
Yeah, and it should be noted that it took these guys, these terrorists, less than a day to get from Panama to wherever this cruise is.
Yep, because, it doesn't matter if it makes sense. They gotta get the movie going.
Right, of course. Yeah, they gotta get the movie going right around the 60-minute mark. The perfect time to get a movie going.
Mm-hmm.
We're about 2/3 of the way through the movie. Might as well get it going now.
Yeah, let's start the conflict of the... Well, I mean, would you even call this the conflict of the movie, having these guys show up, or was the conflict of the movie Sandler getting to go on stage?
I would say there's no conflict in this movie, which is a problem.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, eventually, Sandler decides that after Miss Australia gets captured and awkwardly almost looks like she's about to get raped.
The guys are, awkwardly gripping her and...
Groping her, too.
Yeah, groping her. It's a very strange scene.
I don't know if they were trying to awkwardly pick her up or if they were just standing there trying to catch a grab.
I don't know,
cop a feel.
They're making some very strange motions, and it looked like it was about to be a rape, but I guess that's not what they were going for, or were they? I don't know.
Yeah, but Adam Sandler's best bud has just fallen in love with Miss Australia on a whim.
Because of that amazing speech she gave.
Right, it's very brave to give a speech where you say that you're controlled by men.
Yeah, and nothing you did was your fault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. It's a great speech.
It was the best speech I've ever heard.
Would you say she has agency, Keo?
Oh, yes.
How much agency?
100%.
Wow, she made 100% agency.
Yep. She made the choice to move on after her boyfriend died.
And also to blame everything that had happened to her on her boyfriend.
Yeah, that was her choice to do that.
Yep.
So she had 100% agency. She was a strong female character.
Well, wait, but it wasn't her choice to be a jerk.
Yeah, but, she gained her agency by him dying. And that's a positive message.
You're right. This is clearly something the writers really thought out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Sandler eventually decides he's going to save his buddy and the lady by just walking out and telling some jokes, and it works.
It works. It turns out that those two were actually wanted to be a comedic duo who are also, I guess, gay.
Yeah, that's random. I feel like that was just in there because they wanted to make a couple gay jokes.
Yeah, which is not funny.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I mean, do you think it was funny in the late 80s? To just have people just, oh yeah, they're gay, that's hilarious.
Well, yeah, people probably thought it was funny. It's not funny in this instance.
Yeah, it was just weird.
I would argue nobody thought this was funny.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was just like, oh, so they're gay?
Yeah, but I also like that the one terrorist drags Sandler just right to the mic. And the mic is also still working properly despite everything that's happened. And Sandler gets to tell some jokes, and he lets those guys tell some jokes as well.
And everything's great.
Sort of.
Well, great in this universe where everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, and the crowd comes back after dispersing because of gunfire. They come back because these guys who were trying to kill everybody now are good guys, so that's fine.
Yeah, they're not scared at all anymore, and they're completely trusting of them.
Mm-hmm.
But
in the crowd, there's a guy in a banana suit, and that's a pinnacle of comedy.
You know how hard I laughed?
How hard?
Not at all. I was devastated.
Oh. Yeah, never has a guy in a banana suit made me so sad.
And then Dickie Diamond just gets out of the bathroom.
Yeah, there's a scene earlier in the movie where Kroger and his manager hear somebody in the bathroom, and they just assume it's the ghost of Dickie Diamond instead of just the very likely incidents of somebody being stuck in a bathroom.
Yeah, well, because people being stupid is just automatically funny.
Right. even if it doesn't make sense or isn't necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
So instead of having those guys open the door for him, which would make sense, the door just opens on its own.
And he, after he has this speech about coming to God or something.
Right, and then it turns out he tricked God because he's Dickie Diamond.
Yeah, and he does his laugh, and then he goes to be a dick some more.
Yeah, so he hears the terrorists are making jokes, and he's not having any of that.
He goes and interrupts him, and then the terrorists literally murder him while a crowd cheers.
The crowd cheers for the murder of Dickie Diamond, the man who they thought was dead. They were mourning 2 hours ago.
Yeah, they murder him. They throw him overboard. That kill him. He's a dead boy.
Well, you would think so, but after the credits roll, he's flipping off the camera because he has a life preserver and he's chilling on the water.
Well, no, I think he dies because he's sinking into the water while he continues to give the middle finger.
Yeah, he probably does die. And even if he didn't die, they just leave him there in the water, so he's most definitely dead either way.
Yeah, the boat's leaving.
The boat just leaves. So yeah, the crowd cheers for the murder of a innocent man.
The only thing he ever did was just be a dick.
Yeah.
He wasn't like an actual villain.
That is not a murderable offense.
Yeah.
And in case that wasn't enough death for you, we go to Noriega, who's still watching the film. And, for some reason, he's gotten really sad. So nothing funnier to end your movie on than a little suicide.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Noriega sticks a gun into his mouth, and just like me when I was watching this movie, commits suicide. This is what I was thinking of doing, so it's a pretty appropriate way to end.
Luckily, I took the gun.
Yeah, look, Noriega does what I was thinking of doing after also watching this film.
Yeah, you were gonna do it.
Yeah.
You weren't just thinking.
So he had a good idea.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're still alive, Swanson. I'm glad I took that gun and then tried to kill myself with it, and then you took it back, and then I took it back, and then you took it back, and
yeah, there was a lot of back and forth
before we eventually found out that there was no bullets in the gun.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's pretty much the movie. The ending credits, of course, you can always tell when the ending credits are original when they have the cast dancing over the credits.
I didn't watch the credits. I was done. I was done.
Yeah, they have the cast dancing over the credits because they have nothing else to do, and this is like a student film, so why not?
I left the country after I finished watching this. I didn't want to be anywhere near it.
Near the country?
Well, near where the film is, which is the country.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not great. It's a bad film, Keo. How bad is this film?
It's bad, and I'm glad that it is over.
All right, thanks for that. Yeah, the movie is not. It ends badly. It starts badly. All the middle is bad. It's just a terrible film from front to back, beginning to end.
But you forgot the best part. Well, other than when that guy shows up.
Oh yeah, I did forget about King Neptune giving Adam Sandler his own love interest at random.
Yeah. Because
in every Adam Sandler movie, of course, he needs to have a love interest.
And what's her name?
Slimy! This is the part that actually made me laugh. King Neptune calls his daughter Slimy, but the way he pronounces it is he always yells, Slimy! when he says her name.
I don't know why, and I don't care, but after you pointed it out, it actually became funny.
Yeah, so it worked and made me laugh, so congratulations, movie, you won. Are you happy now? Are you happy now, movie?
Somewhere out there, Adam Sandler is smiling in a very smug way.
You won.
Well, yeah.
So that's point 1 for Sandler, 0 points for us.
Yeah, we were defeated.
Yes. Hopefully next time we can we'll go through a laugh-free film.
Yeah, and then we'll be the winners.
Yeah, we'll be the ones with the smug grins on our faces.
After we're done being devastated.
Just try and make us laugh, Adam Sandler.
You can't. You're not going to.
I will say in defense, at least the scene I laughed at didn't involve something Adam Sandler was doing.
Yeah, that's true. I did laugh at this. I guess it wasn't really him doing anything. It was more of like the effects they used that made me laugh.
Yeah. So we still haven't technically laughed at Adam Sandler.
Yeah, it wasn't him delivering a joke or saying something or doing something. It was just like the fact that they decided to just cut in those effects for no reason.
So Sandler got the technical win, but we got the moral victory.
Yep. We're the moral champions of America.
Yep, we're the champs America needs to lead its country
away from
the tyranny of Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was a terrible first film. I was not expecting us to start right off the bat with one of the worst pieces of trash garbage.
Yeah, you told me that Adam Sandler's earlier films were a little better.
Well, I did not mean this one, by the way.
Okay, well, clearly not.
I did not mean the first film he ever made.
Okay, I didn't know for sure exactly what the case was for this. I thought maybe he'd have like a minor role in this first film.
Yeah, most people don't start out with just leading roles right off the bat, and now we know why.
Yeah, because this was awful.
Yep. So, next week on the show, we're going to be watching the second film in Adam Sandler's filmography. This one, thankfully, he's not the lead, and he also didn't have a hand in writing this one. He's not credited during the credits of Going Overboard for writing it, but he did have a hand in writing it.
He had to have.
And this next one is Shakes the Clown, directed by famous comedian and guy with the weird voice from Police Academy, Bobcat Goldthwait.
Never heard of him. Fake.
He is a real person. Anyway, Shakes the Clown has a better rating on IMDb than this does, so it should hopefully be better. And Sandler is in a side role, so
it still doesn't sound good.
Well, I'd be hard pressed to find a film that's going to be good right off the bat in this direction.
Well, I guess it's going to be better than the one we watched, so that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was worse. If all of these films start getting worse, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, you're going to kill yourself. We've established this.
Well, you are. We've definitely.
Oh yeah, that's stupid.
It's written in stone.
Stupid prophecy.
It's written in stone. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode. So we'll plug what we need to plug real quick. Head on over to...
All right, let's do these plugs.
Thanks for that. Head on over to zestyaroma.com, where you can check out a bunch of zesty content, including this podcast. And another place you can check out this podcast is the freakingawesomenetwork.net. There's tons of great content over there, including reviews. I do reviews for Ash vs. Evil Dead. I used to. The season finale will be up.
Oh yeah, do that plug.
Thanks, pal. I need your inspiration. You're filling me with determination.
Keep on plugging.
Okay, so we also do a sister podcast, sort of, and it's tangentially related. It's what birthed this one, so we've been doing it for a year. It's called TV Tuners, wherein we watch, we're searching for the worst television show of all time. And that's bi-weekly as well as this podcast. So next week you can listen to a brand spanking new episode of TV Tuners. Or if that's not in your bag, you can just listen to this cast, which is every other week.
Keep on plugging.
And you can follow...
Plug on, brother.
You can follow us on Twitter. I am at Jesse Swanson. Keo doesn't have a Twitter, but you can follow the @ZestyAroma Twitter, and he will look at anything you send his way.
Briefly.
You can email us.
If it's worthy of my attention.
What would make it worthy of your attention?
If it has bikini-clad women in it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just send them pictures with bikini-clad women.
Yeah, I'll spend quite a bit of time looking at that.
Anyway, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, the email. I interrupted you and made you forget about the email.
Oh yeah, if you have any emails, you can send them to us at the tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. We're not going to make a separate one for Sandlercast, so you can just send any Sandlercast related emails that way as well.
Do it right now. Suggest films that we're already predestined to watch.
Yeah. So we'll see you in 2 weeks for Shakes the Clown.
Oh boy.
See you guys then.
Goodbye.